Hi, and welcome to English 75B, American Literature from 1865 to 1914. My name is Sean Connelly, and I will be your professor for this course. I got to admit off the bat, this is one of my favorite courses to teach. It aligns very nicely with a lot of my own personal interests and a lot of the work that I did when I was in graduate school. And I think there's a lot of resonance between the material in this course and what's happening right now in the United States. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and give you a quick introduction to the course. Once you hit the home page, you will see this. Oh, and look, now you get to see all of my notifications. Don't worry, I already just paid that Costco bill. Here on the front on the home page, you'll see a picture of me, and I was in a soccer tournament last summer. I wasn't in the tournament, my daughter was, but it was a tournament in Europe, in Sweden, and she also played in France. And I actually saw a Chaffey College t-shirt in a thrift store in Paris, France, right near Notre Dame. No lie, I'm not that clever. I couldn't have made this up if I tried. Anyway, college education can take you places. What else can I say about that? Here at the bottom, you'll find my contact information. Um, my Zoom advice hours are still to be determined. That's because I'm going to send out a survey monkey to find out the best hours for you all as a student group. I also have my Remind link here. You can go ahead and click here to join. It's a texting app. Get the app on your phone, makes it really easy. You can also do it on your computer. I've got some nice videos here in order to help you get to information that you need about the class and also about our success centers. And right here, if you click, you'll get to the first module. Now, oops, I better put this on student view. I've got a welcome module here at the top that's going to help you if you are new to Canvas in this kind of electronic delivery format. There are lots of really important uh, strategies in order to help you get better at dealing with Canvas. It's a very different way of taking a class, but if you keep with it, if you check it every day, I'm very, very certain that you can do well in this course. If you look at under Contact Your Instructor, you can actually see different ways to contact me. And also, oh, wow, for some reason the pictures are broken. I don't know what the problem is with that, but I will try to figure that out. That's a bummer. Anyway, there's some information about me here underneath. It's important for you to know a little bit about me just because, well, when we see each other as human beings more than just pixels behind a screen, classes go better, you feel more connected, and I think that's really, really important. Jumping back to modules, you'll notice that week 1 is up. Now this overview right here is what is going to be something that you can look at in order to find out exactly what's going in the class every week. I've put the objectives at the top, what you should be able to get from this week in terms of instruction and skills, and also a weekly schedule. Notice by Wednesday, you should have read the syllabus. You should have read the American Literature, 1865 to 1914. Remember, this is a class with a textbook. It's the Norton Anthology of American Literature, 9th edition. I went the 9th edition because it's cheaper. It's available at our campus store. It's also available on Amazon. If you're having any trouble getting that, please, please, please talk to me. Notice you also have some poems to read by Emily Dickinson. And she didn't give titles to her poems, so we basically go by the numbers in which they were found or ordered. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. 112, 124, etc. She's fantastic. She uses very simple language, but she really broke really important new ground when it comes to poetry. Notice coming up on Saturday, we'll be looking at the early beginnings of modern American literature. Um, that includes Walt Whitman's Song of Myself. This is a longer poem. If you notice, it is roughly 66 minus 20, 46, 47 pages, and it goes on and on. Um, if you feel like you're getting lost in it, that's okay. It's so grand that you just kind of have to let it wash over you. And with poetry, you know what? You're not going to get everything the first time around. You're not going to get everything ever. You never understand completely, a work of literature or a work of art, or even a film. Even if you think you get it, there's always something more you can dig. Um, but Song of Myself is probably the most comprehensive poem about the American experience in the 19th century, perhaps in all of American history. Um, it's incredible, and it travels far and wide and breaks all kinds of fantastic new ground. Don't let that throw you. Um, if you find that it is um, really throwing you through a loop, put a little question mark next to that section, um, and just keep barreling through because there's a lot going on in it. Please, 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 get back to me if you still see like these broken page links, and I will do what I can to fix those. All right. So, coming back to course modules, you'll notice over here, welcome to English 75B plus Quick Canvas Tour. That's what we're doing right now. Already loaded up, we have video lectures. Anytime I put a video lecture on here, it is required. So please, please, please make sure you take the time to take a look at it and also take notes. I suggest a notebook with a pen or a pencil just because the act of writing out longhand really, really helps you retain the information. Um, Typing just doesn't do the same thing. Um, and again, I think it's important for us to have these introduction videos because there is so much context historically, culturally, socially, politically, aesthetically, that we kind of need to set up in order to understand what's going on in American literature during this time. I know from experience that a lot of you are English majors. If so, dig deep, dive deep into this stuff. We've got discussions every week to help you out with this material. And also, feel free to ask me questions too. I will be jumping in and out of our discussions in order to help people feel like they're getting a handle on the stuff. And remember, no understanding is ever 100% complete. That's why we call it literature. There's always something more we can draw back to it. If you think about it this way, if you've seen a movie you really, really like and it really moves you, you know what? If you're watching it really closely, that next time you watch it, you're going to find something new. You're going to see something new in it. And the same thing goes for reading too. Um, I know with literature, big L, sometimes there are certain kinds of emotions that come to mind. Sometimes people feel like, oh, if it's called literature, I'm not going to like it, or it's going to make me feel stupid. I'm not interested in those lines of thinking. Anytime I read something, I still feel like there's more for me to learn, that there's something just out of my grasp. But we're all here to join in the conversation and to figure it out together. So if you're feeling like you've got a question or something's not making sense, great idea is to put it right there in our weekly discussion. I guarantee you other people are feeling the same way. Um, we're not in competition with each other. If everybody does A work, everybody gets an A in the class. I'm not going to curve it. This isn't the Hunger Games, so, go ahead and put down your bow, Katniss. We can all win here. You'll also see I have a video lecture already posted as well on Emily Dickinson and a way of looking at poetry called the SIFT method. Now, I think I spelled SIFT, misspelled SIFT there, but I'll go back and correct that. Now, of all the different kinds of literature, I think poetry sometimes hits us as the most difficult and maybe causes us the most anxiety because it's so dense. And there's so much going on, and a lot of the connective tissue that we see in a short story or in a play is removed. Uh, but we're all here together to help us understand these different kinds of poems, this very special kind of literature, um, and to pull insights out together and to put those insights out there. If you like music, and if you like music that has words in it, you already are a fan of poetry. Uh, what we do in this class with the poetry that we read here will only sharpen your blade, and make you more interested in how words work in that very condensed fashion. So it's all exciting stuff. It'll be a blast. Looking at week 1 discussion. I'm going to go ahead and open up a link in a new tab. Okay, as you can see at the top here, I've got perhaps the scariest image of Mr. Rogers. Every week we will have discussions. And these discussions are designed to help you get to know your classmates better and also to have a dialogue with other people. And this is all great practice, not only for your academic careers, but also for your professional careers later on. We've got to find ways to talk about what we like and what we don't like in ways that are both civil and using, the appropriate language or terminology of the field. Now, this first one it's going to seem like a bit of a softball or a lob pitch, but it's really important nonetheless. I'm just going to ask you to introduce yourself. And what I'd like you to do is copy this information right into the discussion window, and then you're going to just answer it. And if you go back to the information page about me, you're going to notice that I answered all these things too. I've got lots of interests, lots of things I like to do when I have spare time. I vaguely remember that idea. And I think it'll be fun because I get to know more about you, and that helps me tailor, my poorly crafted jokes towards the class, but also how to drop, very contemporary connections to the work that we're doing. So what I'm going to ask you to do is fill all this out, copy and paste, put in your response, do it by 11:59 on Wednesday. Your reply post will always be due on Saturday, and you are going to respond or reply to 2 different students who already posted. Now, if you want to, you can reply to more, but that is your basic hit the points structure that you need to have in mind. And here's some stuff about grading and also about etiquette. Be kind of respectful, use full sentences. Don't use too much jargon or slang. I don't care if you use jargon or slang. But I do want you to think about audience awareness. If you think people might not know what it is, take a minute to explain it. I love slang, I'll be totally honest. Slang is proof that language is living, and that it's always changing and evolving. And I can't really keep up with it. Most people can't, even though they think they can. But it's just a fascinating part of, the world of words that we live in, if you want to call it that. So if you've got any questions how to deal with all of that, let me know. And that should be good for that. Now, you will notice also that I have the syllabus right here.